What's going on, everybody? Gustav the 13th here with another video for the week of the 9th of April 2026. We have a suit that we already knew about because they already gave us a trailer, because lo and behold, it's another fucking 5-star suit after we have already had a bunch of crap back to back. It is the F91 BC equipped. We got beam cannon and Gatlings on this bad boy. Finally, another 750 support situation, and I say that as if they haven't had to deal with the S-Type for a hot minute. This poor bastard. People are still trying to shove this thing in, not that this is here, by the way. But let's get down to the nitty-gritty in terms of the weapons and all that good stuff. So right out of the gate, we got the usual beam rifle. 3,000 baseline damage, ammo of 8, range of 400. You're gonna see 400 a lot in terms of meterage here, because the beam Gatling, the missiles, all of that's 400. The only thing that's a little bit shorter is some of the Vulcans, and the chest cannons are actually 350. So a little bit off on that. It also does have a pretty decent downsync for the beam saber, just typical F91 stuff there. 3,000 for the power there as well, with the cooldown time of 2. When we get into the beam Gatlings, it does have its own special mode. It's got a decent amount of accumulation, and the special mode actually lets it pierce. Although I'm gonna test it when we actually go into practice. It seems like it accumulates less. Now, mind you, everything has like maneuver armor and all this other extra buffer stuff for, you know, rewarding you for moving. That makes them resist a whole lot more. That being said, we do have a decent set of Vulcans here. High rate of fire, yada yada, ammo of 50, range of 200. The cannons are definitely just more of a follow-up. They don't really do a lot of damage, but not awful. 350 range, 40, just an extra bit of damage if you don't really want to switch back to these. And then we get into the missiles. So we got an incendiary set and a large missile set. The large missile actually does do heavy stagger. And the fire dot on here is for like 5 ticks or so for 400 each. And what I was finding, and what we'll probably, you know, talk about in practice, is that you pretty much have to throw these out ahead of time, because they have a very long startup time. And even though they do speed up and they are guided, it is a little bit rough if you're trying to react to things in a moment, and as opposed to reacting a little bit ahead, to have these have some lead in and buffer for you either aiming with this, you know, or anything else to keep it trained while also maintaining pressure. We also do have a beam shield here. A little bit of parryage, although to be frank, considering everything's going to be doing very fast heavy staggers, don't risk this if you don't gotta. You probably should just be going for tackles, or, you know, getting away from whatever's trying to swing on you. But stats-wise, it's a Gundam. 28 defense across the board, 23k health, decent amount of stuff there. Range strength is 65 baseline, so not very hard to jack up to 100, or just, you know, a little bit further beyond if you had the right parts. This also does come with a special part. Let me see if I can find it on one of the other customizes. Here we go. So it's the Connect System Support Type 2. Increases ballistic damage to enemies by 7% and reduces ballistic beam and other ammo-based reload times by 10%. When equipped to a support category, ASL area extended by 10. Multiple custom parts of the same type cannot be equipped at once. So essentially a ballistic version of the one that's part 1, which is actually more beam-based. Also, when we do our matches, because I'm using, you know, these, and I think this one in particular for the setup, just take a good look at that. You are probably going to see that ASL is going to be a little bit bigger. But we're still going to try to put this into practice a little bit more raw. Let's go back to the skills real quick here. So, on top of that, we also have our slottage is close, medium, and long for 14, 22, and 21. Top speed on this isn't awful. And the turning speed is actually 78, so not too hard to put into the 80s and stuff like that. Skill-wise, we have High Performance Radar, Observational Data Link 1, High Performance Aerospace Gimbal 2, Resist Move 2, so you get some rollage in there with the damage being reduced by 50. High Performance Thruster Control System, Glide Structure, Anti-Blast Stabilizer, Melee Composite System, High Spec Ambag. Are you noticing that something is kind of missing? Optimized cooling efficiency, fall prevention system, that's neat. Immobile firing system for your Gatlings, how nice. Flat booster 2, max performance 2, raise counter, so you get a special one for that. And bullet feeder, so when reloading with ammo remaining for ballistic beam or ammo base, the other ammo based weapons, reload time is reduced by 50%. You know what's missing? fucking maneuver armor. in a suit that wants you to be in the air all the time and to be chasing things down and all this other shit. And the one thing that they were like, whatever, they're not gonna get that to it. Fine. One other thing to note, max performance, you know, the usual stuff applies. We get HP for all parts, thrusters, range, weapon ammo, heat gauges, temporarily activating the skill. Increases your unit's attack power and mobility. This is kill based, by the way. It's not just for, you know, doing so, because there's no melee for this outside of just, you know, a couple downswings here and there. And while active, the anti-air range auxiliary program level 1 is provided, and position of your unit on the enemy radar is delayed. Oh, yeah, after images with mass. In fact, I'm a little bit curious. Let me look at this real quick. So extra force. Stagger caused by accumulation during high-speed movement is reduced. And position, okay. So, not the anti-air. That's something that's a little bit more unique to this version in particular. But that's the long and short of it for that. Let's look at the enhancements real quick. So, as usual, as a 5-star suit, force deploy, you got +1 to range strength, plus 100 to unit HP, and then complex expansion comes in at 4,600 for +1 to all those. And then for the unlockables, we have +5 to range strength and reduced range damage to most hit HP by 10% when toppled. Alright, let's take this into practice, show it off a little bit, and we'll talk about it a bit more while we're at it. Because, man, I know a lot of people were salivating for having a support and all that. You know, it's been so long, but I have some words. I have some feelings about this suit. For starters, it feels like this should have been something we got a long time ago. But one thing I wanted to test while we're here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 or so for the regular Gatling on there. If we do this, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Actually, a little bit less. And it pierces. So not too bad. Obviously, when it goes into the overheat, it's a long overheat for that. Missile launcher and the, you know, incendiary and heavy. So one thing you need to keep in mind, you see how slow that is. In the startup when you're on the ground, there's a little bit of delay. If you take it to the skies, it drops right away. They really want to encourage you to be in the air. But again, no maneuver armor. Fall prevention only does so much. If you're even in your hang time animation, because that's kind of slow and delayed too. You can shoot these in the air as well. And when it's in its special mode, you can also let that loose. So if you want that extra piercing in output, be my guess. Really solid downswing there. As you can see, I really like that they let you carry with that. Because they could have support attack stat and made it like a really stupid Burger Gyros, like swipe and then fan out. No, not here. We're good. We're alright. I'm happy about it. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 or so for the regular Vulcans. These don't really accumulate. It's mostly just for the damage dump. 238 on a type disadvantage suit. On a regular bastard, we're doing some solid 200s, 300s depending on buffer area. Obviously, anything that has like a biosensor is gonna give you a hard time. But yeah, for the most part, very straightforward. Plant damage on the shield. You know, the bigger things right here in this suit is mostly just that it's gonna be tough to lead a lot of these ahead because of that. You can't really react to things that are even this close. Unless they're coming right at you and they're very stupid. You're probably gonna want to run away or move your camera away. You really gotta try to keep it trained. So Vulcans are gonna be your best friend when you're in the air. If you have a little bit of hang time, you know, try to throw something down to hit that gauge and keep them up. Now, in terms of base damage here, incendiary is kind of a visible tick. You know, heavies, or incendiary is not so much, but heavy a little bit more. The Gatling, as you can imagine, especially as a cumulative weapon, not a lot. Most of these this is a very anti-mobile suit kind of situation. You're not base busting any kind of fast with this. You don't really have any speed loaders or anything like that. You got 2 sets of these and 2 sets of those, and brother, that's it. It's doing visible chunks, as you can see, but like, and even if you know, and one thing to keep in mind is that if you're in the air or if you're on the ground with that, it does commit stancy. So it's trying to have you take advantage of that other skill to kind of defend yourself. And it does do good damage, you know, and obviously if you're in a big clusterfuck, the piercing helps so that you can spread that love even further. But that's just the thing. In a cost where there's been a lot of suits that have kind of gotten buffed and adjusted, you know, where the other native support at this cost, the 90S, couldn't hack it, and people are more confident running the fucking Zeta HML because of some of the adjustments by comparison. It's rough being a support at this cost, especially with the V2s and all that running around. Also, one thing to note is, you know, no aerial. No aerial melee. I feel like having these extra cannons shouldn't really hinder it from having aerial melee. Support tax at its finest, I guess. But yeah, no aerial melee there. But that's kind of the long and short of it for the weapons. Very straightforward. You know, the bigger trick is just, you know, having a volume of fire. Look at how much area that is. So you can like wall and corner bang people with that really tough. But again, stuff at this cost is really fast. There's not going to be a lot of instances where you're like, oh, I got that motherfucker now, unless you're just catching him in the air and just hoping for the best. So we do have a match. I'm going to tell you right now, support days, dude. Running this was a pain in the ass for rated. I felt pretty satisfied with the match that we did get, but even that one was kind of pushing it. And even though I understand this thing a little bit more, I'm just gonna let you guys check out the match. Alright, so we're gonna put that right around here. Doing both missiles in succession almost feels a little too expectant that anything's gonna stand that still despite how much these can be steered, or that someone else is gonna jump in front of them anyway. Dude. Everything moves too fast. Duh. I'm not even trying to keep up with you. There we go. Oh my god. Then I use a recorder blasting someone, yeah. Like when they pick up speed, it's not bad, but at that point, like you really gotta commit and just try to hit something and just hope that you don't fuck it up. That's way too much anticipation and trust for something like that. Oh shit. Okay, got it. Good, thank you. See, like, that's what I don't like. Like, they're doing their thing, they're doing their whole little drama, and I'm like, I'm gonna heavy stack room and I'm not gonna reach it in time. It does, because it does speed up, but like, fucking, ugh. My heart doesn't need that shit. Too old. Too old to be playing these games, brother. Go down. Get back, get away. Ah. Yeah. It really is just an effort thing. Like, that's playing too much crisscross with my fucking fingers, fucking throwing this shit around when I can just fucking boot bop with a couple shots out of the F91 and do the same damage. Yeah, really, 'cause he's gonna drop his shit soon. Brenner. Like, you gotta do it that ahead of time. Just to get punished for being aggressive anyway. Because no one else is gonna do that shit. These motherfuckers are just chewing on some dude like 10,000 years away. Thankless work. We got whatever. Come on, I get in there.
敵モビルスーツを撃破。行ってこい。味方が敵モビルスーツを撃破。味方が落とされた。戦闘継続だ。その程度何でもないはずだ。味方が敵モビルスーツを撃破。機体の損傷が増加しているな。
Yeah, that dude is thick. Ooh, my lord. But yeah, leading in with those way ahead of time as a buffer, like you really gotta anticipate way ahead. I don't like that. These motherfuckers move too fast. But I can see it being annoying as hell. I can't see it lasting super duper long, but like between that and people trying to bring back the 90S because it's like, oh, we can double up and do different things now.
Good work out there.
We'll probably just see a lot more F90 and stuff, or F91 after that. So that was our successful run in the new F91 support. As you can probably tell from the colors and all that, this is an Asian special. Asian Noob Sama sponsoring our stream once again. Or our video, I should say. I don't think I'm gonna spin for this. I'm pretty close. I could get some token packs and bite the bullet for the part or whatever, but even that doesn't seem particularly worth it for me. You know, if you're someone that runs a lot of heavy ballistic suits at lower cost when it comes to supports and stuff, then that's probably right up your alley and you probably already have this thing. You know, good luck. But otherwise, I think this is kind of weird, and there's a lot of gloom and doom about the fact that we've had, like I said before, two 4 stars and 2 5 stars now within a month, with other banners and stuff in between. They're really cranking that lever when it comes to pressing us for cash, and a lot of people are curious as to why. I may or may not do a follow-up video about that and just kind of talking about things in general. But a lot of people are kind of considering this suit to be the harbinger of the end times when it comes to the service of this game. Obviously, we still have the rest of Spring Fest and probably Anniversary to go. So, you know, don't cry that the sky is falling all the way quite yet. But, you know, talk about it, consider it, and what that means for your future, purchases when it comes to the banners and stuff, if that actually does become, you know, real knowledge in the future. But if you've been salivating for a support at 750, I feel like, you know, some of the forgiveness that they have when it comes to that heavy stagger, you can tell what they wanted to do. And in the right scenarios, it can work out, but it's a lot of work. You know, if you're already used to the regular F91, especially at the adjustments, then it's doing what this is doing a lot faster with a lot less complication and a lot less, you know, abilities or chances like that to kind of fuck up. You know, if you're in there, if you're handling it already, you know, even if you want to shake stuff up, if you're tight for cash and all that, I wouldn't sweat this suit too much. And that's probably for the best, because we have 2 more weeks to go for Spring Fest as it is, and Lord knows what the fuck else they're gonna give us. So, that's the long and short of it for me for the new F91. We'll probably be dealing with it in our matches. I am not gonna get this on my accounts, so I will not be running it during the week. But, depending on whether or not that other video comes out, you know, hopefully I'll see you there. Otherwise, this has been Goose Down the 13th. Have a good night, morning, or whatever. And I'll talk to you all in the next video.